Congratulations, girl!
She also then later posted this, I think today, on her Instagram story. She said, to everyone saying I should be embarrassed or I'll never get a job. I'm a black woman in America. I'm always in the right. You will not gaslight me into thinking I'm the bad guy. I did it for the girls that look like me. Love you. So this is just, I think this really just goes to show like what her intentions were with this situation. So I may not look like her, but I feel like I do have the qualifications because I am fully black. I am fully African, to be exact. I'm fully Stenese. I have 2 Stenese immigrant parents. And as a young black girl, that did not inspire or encourage or help me whatsoever. Because I know at the end of the day, it made you feel good in that second. Everybody wants to do that. You have a bad encounter with somebody's being an asshole, somebody's doing this to you, you feel some type of way about that person, and you just want to stand up to them. But at the end of the day, the way she did it was not right. Like I said in my last video, if that lady wanted to press charges against you, she had every right to. And at the end of the day,
Alright guys, don't you just love it when a story comes full circle? Guys, I really do love it. And this story right here about the graduation mic snatching girl that I'm doing another update on really has come full circle, okay? As if you guys are familiar with the story, all you guys should be familiar with the story by now. There was a black girl that decided to make the graduation ceremony all about her by snatching the mic from a white lady college administrator in the middle of graduation after this woman had already said her name, said the things that she was allowed to say, and moved on. She felt like she should have been allowed to say more, okay? She felt disrespected because she wasn't allowed to say more. So she goes up to the lady, snatches the mic out of her hand, and makes the moment all about her, okay? Now, when this went viral, initially, it was a whole bunch of, yas, queen, slay queen, right? You're doing this for black women, okay? You're standing up for oppressed black women who aren't allowed to unapologetically be themselves, right? AKA to act a fool in the middle of graduation, right? So yeah, that was the initial reaction. Then, like all race hoaxes, right? Once the actual evidence came out to show that this woman, the college administrator, wasn't actually racist, okay, and that she was allowing people to say their name and a little bit extra, people called this girl out, this black girl out on her lie, okay? And now you have black people even turning against her and roasting her for lying because a lot of them fell for the okie doke. And that's the reason why I'm making this video, is because there are too many black people out here that are falling for the okie doke. So I want to go ahead and play a few clips of people reacting to the truth coming out about this situation, because it really is telling. But before I get into that, I just want to let you guys know, if you like my channel, you want to support my channel, you can check out my merch. Like, for example, the shirt I'm wearing right here, my MAGA Hub shirt. If you want to check that out at my website, you can, gforemanbcp.com. Get 20% off using discount code TEAMBCP. So without further ado, roll the clip.
Good morning, y'all. I know y'all seen that video, that girl at the graduation that snatched the mic out of the lady's hand. Now, at first I didn't pay attention to the story because I'm like, oh my God, it's just always something, whatever. And then, I would listen to her explanation. Everybody in the shade room comments like, oh my God, like, you did the right thing. You stood up for her, blah, blah, blah. So I'm thinking like, okay, maybe this lady really did her wrong, right? Of course, I go on TikTok. Another girl shares her part of the story and was like, really, the girl was doing too much. The lady was kind of going back and forth. Nobody really had to say their majors. It's literally just saying your name. So she was really doing too much. So the purpose of this video is to remind y'all that I know y'all want every white person to just be this terrible, mean, right? Like, I know that's what y'all want, and I know y'all feel good when black people stand up for themselves, and I do too, right? But sometimes in this day and age, people just want clout. They just want to go viral. So the fact that she would lie like that on that old white lady.
Another thing I don't get is she talking about, oh, I don't like how you snatched the mic out of my hand. But in the video, you see the lady holding the mic and putting it to now this shit just don't make no sense to me now. Like, and I believed you. What the fuck?
Let's go. You didn't let me give my moment, so I want to say my name is Kadijata Diallo, and I'm graduating today. I don't like how you snatched the mic out of my hand, so today is gonna be all about me.
This is a classic black victim mentality on display. The announcer at her graduation said her name wrong, and so she made it a race thing, but I probably would have mispronounced it too. But this black victim mentality leads to worse outcomes for black people. It's a vicious cycle, and here's how it goes. Anything that happens to a black person is perceived as racism. Now keep in mind that whatever happened to the black person doesn't have to be racist, it's just perceived as racism. And then they play the race card and they start to overreact and make everything about themselves. Then they start to act uncivilized in places that require civility and decorum. But then people excuse this uncivilized behavior as an adequate response to racism. And so as a result, the standards for black people are lowered. It's kind of hard to expect greatness from people when this is the standards that you live up to. And then these steps are repeated, creating a vicious cycle that ultimately keeps black people as a whole down. And tolerating this behavior leads to worse outcomes for black people.
You snatched the mic out of my hand.
Except she lied, according to some footage and first-hand accounts of the incident. I mean, I really don't care, but what kind of rubs me the wrong way is that all of a sudden she's like jumping behind the whole black community, like, oh, she's standing up for girls that look like her and this and that, when she's just trying to justify her bad behavior. And folks are quick to jump like, oh, this protect this queen and this and that. She lied. I mean, you hear the story of the boy who cried wolf. You can't encourage this kind of behavior, man.
Yeah, so again, I'm glad I'm not the only black person that sees this, okay? Because I was a little afraid, okay? After seeing Rashard Richie's take and seeing all the woke revolutionaries defending this woman at the beginning of all this, I was like, am I wrong here, right? Am I missing something here? But again, there are some black people that are waking up to how this works, how the okie doke works, okay, in regards to the perpetual cycle of victimhood that a lot of black people push out there in order to get away with doing things that are otherwise unacceptable, okay? You feel slighted, some type of microaggression happens to you. You think that because it happened to you, it came from a white person, is racist. You cry racism, okay, and then you do some outrageous thing, and you say, well, it was racist to justify it, right? And then you rinse and repeat, and you continue to do the same thing where you have this perpetual cycle of bad behavior because, hey, I'm a victim. But again, it's funny because in a situation like this, usually you see the victims get away with this, right? Usually you see them end up coming out on top despite the fact that they're obviously wrong. Now, this TikToker has turned off her comments on her videos, okay? Because, again, people in the comment section are basically calling her out for essentially trying to excuse her own bad behavior by falsely crying racism. And now the college that she went to, LaGuardia Community College, is coming out and slamming this woman who apparently is an OnlyFans star, right? And I'm using star loosely here, for her, quote, unacceptable treatment of staff after she snatched the mic from an administrator who wouldn't let her say her full name, sparking racism accusations. So let's read here, because the college is now speaking out on this and they're condemning this, which is a surprise because, again, these woke institutions typically are afraid to condemn this type of behavior. So let's read here. A black graduate who ripped the microphone out of a white administrator's hand after she claimed to have been cut off during her commencement speech has been slammed by the college she was graduating from. Kadia Aman was seen in a TikTok video wrestling a microphone out of a white staff member's hand while graduates stood in line to receive their diplomas at LaGuardia Community College in Queens, New York. Quote, "I want the mic," Aman can be heard yelling at the administrator as she aggressively tugged the electronic from her. "Let go. You didn't let me get my moment." The school have now responded to what occurred at the ceremony, describing her behavior as, quote, unacceptable. Quote, "We regret that the students' disruptive and inappropriate behavior impacted the celebration for graduates and guests. Her mistreatment of a staff volunteer was unacceptable," the school said in a statement. Yeah, so the school, right, apparently they have some reason to believe that this woman was in the wrong because they're coming out here and they're condemning this, right? They're not saying that we're going to investigate the accusations of racism and not take a side, right? Or, you know, sometimes what they do is that if there's an accusation of racism thrown out there, they will take the side of the individual claiming racism, right? Because at the end of the day, that tends to be the people that they align with, okay? And they will preemptively punish somebody that's accused of racism to try to get ahead of the backlash. But again, in a situation like that's not what's happening. the college is actually siding with the administrator, which tells you that, again, they have all the reason to believe that, again, this young black OnlyFans star was in the wrong, right? She was in the wrong, for sure. Quote, "We are currently reviewing the incident to gain a better understanding of what occurred and what we might do in the future to prevent something like this from happening again." Well, I mean, the only way to prevent this from happening again is not to let, certain students, or to let every student into your college or university, right? Because, again, this is a community college. It's not exactly super difficult to get into this college or university. So I don't know, maybe you might want to up your standards, right? And therefore you can avoid getting individuals like this. Aman had already received her diploma, but then returned to walk back to where other students were lining up to grab the mic, just as the group from interdisciplinary studies was about to walk in. Each student was given an opportunity to say their name, major, and a few small things about themselves as they traveled towards the stage. The influencer and OnlyFans star admitted in a separate TikTok video, but as she and other black students got the chance to speak, she said she noticed the woman pulling down the mic super fast from some black people. Yeah, we definitely didn't see that, right? We definitely didn't see that in the video footage. Aman went to reclaim her moment and told the crowd her full name. Quote, "I don't like how you snatched the mic out of my hand, and today is going to be all about me," she told the administrator before throwing the microphone forcibly onto the ground and walking away. But the school appears to have been rocked by the students' outlandish actions. Yeah, I mean, this is what happens when, you got woke revolutionaries attending your university, right? You got to deal with this type of stuff, okay? This type of behavior that we coddle too much. And when you coddle this type of behavior, you tell people that that these people are special and that nobody's allowed to criticize them. This is what they do. Yeah, so that being said, here's what I want to say. So we now have the college coming out and condemning this young lady, this young OnlyFans star, who clearly probably doesn't care about getting a job in corporate America or anything like that. Again, because their own OnlyFans, they're making music, they're trying to clout chase, okay? Again, these are careers where you need as much clout as possible. All the incentive in the world was there for her to essentially make up a claim of racism and to do that, right? She got exactly what she wanted. She got her viral moment. Again, not sure how this is going to translate into a successful music career or a successful OnlyFans career or whatever she's trying to do. But best of luck to her. But what I really want to say is this. I think it's about time where black people stop falling for the okie doke. Okay? We have to move past accusing everything of racism just because it doesn't go our way. Every little interaction you have with somebody, just because you have that interaction with somebody and they're a different skin color than you or different race than you, doesn't mean that it's racist, right? Sometimes the interaction happened not because of race, but because of something else. Actually, a vast majority of the time, 99% of the time, that interaction happened because of race. And people that always want to stoop to use the race card when they have an interaction that makes them uncomfortable or they feel slighted or disrespected in some way, again, it really does not help you move forward in life and to actually self-improve. And that is one of my biggest reasons why I'm so passionate about this topic, is because I really do think that people who cry racism all the time is an excuse for why they're not doing what they want in life or getting what they want out of life, are really holding themselves back. Because you don't have the ability to objectively self-reflect on what is it that you need to improve in order to get where you're trying to go in life, right? When you just cop out and say, well, it's racism is why that happened, then you're not going to be able to evaluate any situation, right? And you're going to end up stuck in life and not be able to go anywhere. And again, this is why I'm so passionate about this topic. I'm happy to see that people are speaking out and calling this girl out and saying, hey, this is a lie. You basically led me to believe you, when, again, you don't have any evidence to suggest that your story is true. And the college is also condemning this, which means that they have a lot of reasons to believe that her actions definitely wasn't justified. So, again, it seems like there's an end to this story. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a black conservative perspective. Peace.